Come closer. Read this one again. وأنا بواكد الليثي. Completely. Okay, read the next one. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Okay, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعن ابن المسيب قال وقعت الفتنة الأولى يعني مقتل عثمان فلم يبق من أصحاب بدر أحد ثم وقعت الفتنة الثانية يعني الحرة فلم يبق من أصحاب الحديبية أحد ثم وقعت الفتنة الثالثة فلم ترفع وبالناس طباخ رواه البخاري. Interesting hadith here in which Ibn al-Musayyib encapsulates everything what happened. He says, see, وقت الفتنة الأولى, the first great test that came to this ummah, the first great test was, remember, I explained you this several times before, that until the time of Uthman radiallahu ta'ala, things were good. In the middle of his khilafat, that's where things started going down. Remember, eventually he was made shaheed, remember. So he's saying, see, what he's saying? He's saying, وقت الفتنة الأولى, the first fitna took place, يعني you got a maqtalu or maqtala in the harkat day of kitab? Huh? Right? So, فَلَمْ يَبْقَى مِنْ أَصْحَابِ بَدْرٍ أَحَدٌ. There did not remain anyone from the companions of Badr. Right? So that was when the fitna of the shahadat of Uthman radiallahu ta'ala took place, there weren't any veterans still around, or there were very few of them around, right? Then he says, وَقَاتِ الْفِتْنَةُ الثَّانِيَةُ. The second big fitna, which I told you the start, was Harra. Remember, was Harra when Yazid sent his army to loot and ransack Medina, which just happened after Karbala, remember? And the people of Medina didn't want to give back to Yazid because they were very unhappy with him because Hussein was martyred under his leadership, right? So he says, فَلَمْ يَبْقَى مِنْ أَصْحَابِ الْهُدَيْبِيَةِ. None from the people of Hudaybiyah remained. Remember what is Hudaybiyah? Hudaybiyah is also named as Bayatul Ridwan. Remember when the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam seen in a dream that he's going to make Umrah of the Bayt, and this was the first time that he was going to go back to Makkatul Mukarramah after he was ejected from Makkatul Mukarramah. Remember? So the Sahaba Ikram were very, very excited. But when they came to Makkah, the Mushrikeen stopped them, didn't allow them in. Then he said that Uthman is an envoy to go speak to the people of Makkah. And then the rumor spread that Uthman was made shaheed. The Nabi was very, very annoyed because it was against protocol. It was, even though, you know, the Meccans, etc., they were, so to say, barbaric, or they were like, you know, backwards in it. But it was standard protocol. You don't interfere with the emissary. you don't interfere with the diplomats. Like even today, you see the diplomats, what we call, they have diplomatic immunity, etc. So Nabi, and plus he was the son-in-law of Nabi. So Nabi was very, very much annoyed. And then he made all the Sahaba come give ba'at on his hand. And he put his own hand and he said, this is on behalf of Uthman. That's and Allah speaking about this. لقد رضي الله عن المؤمنين إذ يبايعونك تحت الشجرة فعلم ما في قلوبهم فأنزل السكينة عليهم وأثابهم فتحا قريبا. So that's who we referring to. This great group. There is an order in Shak. When you come to the end of Mishkaat, you see the Sahib Mishkaat give the order like the most honorable person with the Khulafa Rashidin. Then it was the Ashara Mubashara. That was the people of Badr, it was people of Khandaq, it was the people of Baytul Ridwan. There is an order for this, which you will do. So he's saying that when Harra took place, by then all the people of Baytul Ridwan was gone already, right? Then he says, Waqatil fitna to Thalithatu. Then the third fitna take place. Falam turfa. It was not even raised, right? Wabin nasi, falam turfa wabin nasi tabahun. This is how you will translate it. That it was not raised whilst there was in the people any type of strength. In other words, by the time the third fitna took place, there weren't any great personalities left. So what is the hadith telling you? What is the hadith telling you? Who can tell me what you understand from this hadith? Speaking about stages of fitna. Ismail, what do you understand from the hadith? Tell me, what do you understand from this hadith? It's quite simple if I tell you. It's quite simple. I'll give you a clue. Here's your clue. Nabi Sallallahu told us, Umar, you are the door between fitna. When this door is open, then the first fitna will come. Now, come carry on. Same thing, build on it. So, same thing we're saying. That is the same thing. Because Umar was there, he was the bulwark. He was the preventer of the fitna. Then as we went on further, then there were lesser Sahaba Ikram, the more prominent. When they went, a new fitna came. And then when you go further, in stages, then the prominent Sahaba went away. That was the people of Badr. There was another fitna. That's what I'm saying. And then eventually when the third fitna took place, there was nobody left of merit of essence. So as we go from the time of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, as we go up to Qiyamah, as the people of essence, as the people of merit, as the people of what you call it, of virtue, as they leave the world, that's how there will be a degeneration in the position of the Muslims. Same thing I told you. Inna Allah la yaqbidu al-ilma inna Allah la yantazilu al-ilma intiza'an walakin yaqbidu al-ilma inna Allah la yaqbidu al-ilma qabdan walakin yaqbiduhu bi intiza'il ulama'i. Allah Ta'ala won't take knowledge away from this earth just by one day you wake up and you see all the books are blank, the Quran is blank. No, Allah Ta'ala will take the knowledge away by slowly taking the ulama away. So same thing. Obviously, when Nabi Sallallahu was alive, إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح رأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا. When Islam, when Sharia reached its pinnacle, it reached its highest point. It reached its pinnacle, highest point, and then after Nabi Sallallahu passed away, and then slowly, as the senior Sahaba Ikram started passing away, so they were the bulwarks. They were the stoppers of fitna as they began leaving the dunya. And then when the junior Sahaba Ikram were there was more fitna. And then when they also left, there was more fitna. So you see what we're saying is from this, like I mentioned to before, I said to you, it's not a hadith, but it's a saying of the ulama, al-barakatu ma'a akabirikum. What? Barakah, blessing is with your seniors. When you make mashwara with your seniors, you listen to your seniors, you take the advice, and there will be barakah. But when you want to do your own thing, you think your own. You think, no, I'm smart enough, I'm clever enough. I can decide to do what I want to do. When I want to do it, I will do my own thing. I'm intelligent enough. What do you think I am? Intelligent enough. I'm smart enough. I can make my own decisions. I can decide I must do this. I can decide I must do that. I can decide. Then you will be devoid and bereft of any type of barakah. So this is what we're saying here. That as when the seniors were there, Then there was less fitna. And as the seniors started departing, obviously Nabi was the greatest senior. Then you had, I told you, Khulafa Rashidin, then you had the Ashara Mubashara, then you had the people of Badr, then you had the people of Khandak, then you had the people of Bayatul Ridwan, then you had the people of Al-Bayatul Aqabatul Ula, Al-Bayatul Aqabatul Thaniya, when Nabi took Bayat, from the Bedouinites. Then you had the Muhajirin. The Muhajirin were more virtuous than the Ansar because they left their homes. So what the hadith is saying, that the barakah is with your elders. And as the elders were departing from the dunya, the fitna started coming. But when the elders were there, the fitna was left. The fitna was less. That's why I told you, this is not the hadith, al-barakatu ma'akabirikum. But it is understanding the essence of the hadith, because the hadith is showing you that when the seniors of Badr were there was no fitna of Uthman. But only when they left, then what happened? Then the shadow of Uthman came. And then the fitna of Harra didn't take place until the seniors of what? Bay'atul Ridwan left. And the third fitna didn't come when the third fitna came, فَلَمْ تَرْفَعْ وَبِنَّ It did not raise his head وَبِالنَّاسِ whilst there was with the people type of strength. It means رَفَعَ. So this thing, it did not raise his head وَبِالنَّاسِ طَبَّاخٌ while there was masbuti, there was strength for the people. In other words, it only came when there was no more strength, there was no more people of merit. Are you with me? I tell you, tabakhun, it means quwwat, strength, taqat, aql, etc. So when this large group of intelligent people who had the blessing with them, when they left, then only it came. So this third fitna did not make his appearance in this dunya until the last of the intelligent, the last people left, right? And when they left, then you saw all these funny things happening, right? So when the fitna of the Shahadat of Uthman took place, then there was no one of Badr after that. And then when the fitna of Harra took place, Bayatul Ridwan, after there was no one. And here I say the third fitna is the fitna of Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Saqafi. The main, look, there were fitnas in between, but if you look at the three main fitnas, the first was Shahada of Uthman, and the second one was, I told you, what was the second one? Uh, the fitna is Harra, that was Yazid, and after Yazid, it was the fitna of Hajjaj bin Yusuf al-Thaqafi and Abdullah ibn Zubayr. Then there was no one left. وَهَلْ أَفْسَدَ الدِّينَ إِلَّا الْمُلُوكَ وَأَحْبَارُ سُوءٍ رُهْبَانًا. So these are the people, the corrupt leaders, etc., that caused the barakah to go, that caused the blessed August Sahaba Ikram to leave from this dunya. Anyway, that brings us to the end. So this hadith, or this chapter rather, in briefly, it discussed all the fitan, the trials, the tribulations. We come to a new chapter. What is the new chapter you got there? Babul Malahimi. Now, Malahim is the jama of Malhamatun. Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, وَاتَّقُوا فِتْنَةً لَا تُصِيبَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْكُمْ خَاصَّةً. That fear, that test, that trial, لَا تُصِيبَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْكُمْ. It will not affect the ones from you specifically. Right, that is the verse that relates to this. Anyway, Malhama is Malahim is the jam of Malhamatun. And you know, Malhama, when you get the meme in the beginning, it comes on the Ismu Zarf of Zaman or Zarf Makan scale, right? And the Jama is Malahim. So Malahim refers to like a very, very severe, intense war. Very, very severe, intense war. And interesting, always in Arabic, every word has a reason why it is that word. So you look at what Malhama, it comes from the word of Laham. What it comes from? Laham. And here what it means, and here you say Malhama means where the flesh is exposed, where the flesh is broken, where the flesh is torn apart. So this is a chapter that will deal with the wars that will take place after Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, where the flesh will be torn, the flesh will be broken, the flesh will be torn apart. Are you with me? And obviously, the flesh is torn, the flesh is broken when there's intense wars. Are you with me? I mean, if you look at today's current warfare, if you look at the warfare that takes place, those bombs that are dropped on innocent people that has been happening, that happened in, which happened in Afghanistan, it happened in Iraq, it happened in Libya, it's happening in Gaza now, it's happening in Lebanon. Those those bombs, they tear a person apart. You see you see bodies are torn and they're broken into pieces. Bodies are broken into pieces. That's why I tell you the words of Nabi Sallallahu are timeless. The words of Nabi Sallallahu are timeless. I mean, how relevant isn't this word for today? How relevant is this word? You ever seen those pictures? There's one picture where they gave people, the parents baked their children in bags, pieces of flesh. There's another incident where the bodies were so destroyed to such an extent the flesh was mixed up. So they just took, if you had a baby, now baby's 10 kilos, they'll just pick up 10 pieces, 10 kilos of meat and give it and say, this is your baby, bury it. The baby's not even your baby, but they'll just give you 10 pieces of human flesh and say, you get closure, you bury this here. It's not your baby because the bodies are torn apart. The bodies are torn apart. They are torn apart. So any flesh, you got a baby, if you had an adult that you lost, they'll give you maybe 50, 60 kilos. Now you bury it. Just understand that this is your baby. Right? So there you see the malhama, which refers to the tearing of flesh, the exposure of flesh. What extent don't we see it happening today? So as I tell you, the words of Nabi Sallallahu, the words of Allah Ta'ala are timeless, right? They speak about human rights. They worry about the women that are not getting university education in Afghanistan, but they don't worry about the children. They don't worry about the women that are being torn apart and ripped apart. So they say that the Muslim world, the conservative Muslims, they don't give rights to the Muslim ladies. So what type of rights are they giving to the Muslim ladies? They are allowing them to be blown to bits and pieces. So then that time they don't care about human rights. That time they don't care about human rights. Okay, fine. Normal. It's okay, but you can't see the people that join on the show. So I was telling you, the words of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is so true that we can see the tearing of flesh, the pieces of flesh. So normally, like an ordinary small battle, you won't refer to as malahama. I told you this is where it's a very intense, like where you say shredding of bodies. Interesting also that one of the names of Nabi Sallallahu was Nabiyul Malahim. Nabiyul Malahim. Why was it? Because remember, interesting point I'll tell you that not all the ummahs, previous ummah, they were allowed to engage in jihad. Not all the ummahs. This is one of the special. If you read the books of the specialities of this ummah, one of the specialities of this ummah was that they could engage in jihad. And then also I told you this, and if I remember correctly, also I think one of the ummah of Musa alayhi salam, they were also allowed to engage in jihad. We done that verse comes in the Quran. What it? They in the seventh para go and fight them. They still call inna lana dakhul abada ma damu hatta. Was it verses? Can't remember where they were with Musa alayhi salam and his people. They were instructed to go fight with the Amalika. Remember, comes in the seventh para. So they also engaged jihad, and also our ummah, they were allowed to eat from the sacrifice. Like the previous ummahs, if they had the sacrifice or even the booty, the spoils of war, they had to leave it in a place, and the fire would come from the heavens, and the fire would consume that sacrifice, right? So this was some of the salient features of this ummah, that we engage in jihad, we establish the Lord of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we can also consume from the booty. That's why it comes in the hadith also that the best earnings a person the best earnings is the booty he earns in a jihad, right? Then after that is farming, but that hadith also comes in Mishkaat. We'll do it inshallah one of the day. So that's why Nabi was named this Nabiul Malahim. And if you read, if you look, you study the Shama'il, you've done Shama'il. Last time Nazeer taught Yusuf and Bilal, the Shama'il at Tirmidhi, you will do it also. That Sahaba Ikram say that if you had to look for Nabi Sallallahu in the battlefield, you will always find him on the front, in front of everybody, on the front line fighting, not hiding away behind, not hiding like Yahya Sinwar on the front line fighting. That was Nabi Sallallahu. Yes, when he became advanced age and then he used to send all the Sariyas out. But in the initial stage of Islam, he was in the thick of the battle. He was. That's why he was called Nabiyul Malahim. So if you look at Babul Malahim, we done Kitabul Fitan earlier. Kitabul Fitan discussed everything briefly. So now this is, you can say, tahsis for ba'da ta'mim. We're going to do, like you say, more details. We're going to discuss, Nabi is going to give us more details with regards to all the fitan. So, the incidents that will happen before Qiyamah, right? That we're going to discuss some important alamat, some certain waqi'at, certain hadith will have brief reference to it. Certain hadith will have detailed reference to it. All of this, inshallah, will come in the forthcoming abwab. Now, I want you to remember this. This is very important. Who knows what's the difference between alamat sughra and alamat kubra? You know, did you ever come across this? Did you come across this before? Did you come across it? In English, we call it the major signs and the minor signs. Who knows what's the major sign, what's the minor sign? Okay, that is, you are giving me example, but I'm looking for a qaida kulliyah. You're giving me example of the major signs. I want a full a comprehensive definition. Who knows a comprehensive definition? I'll give you a comprehensive definition. Everything. In fact, the Nabi Sallallahu himself is a sign of Qiyamah. Why is a sign of Qiyamah? Because Qiyamah could not come till Nabi Sallallahu never come. How could Qiyamah come until the last Nabi never come? So Nabi Sallallahu himself was a sign of Qiyamah. Nabi Sallallahu was himself a sign of Qiyamah. Because as I said, Qiyamah could not start until the final Nabi come and the final Prophet come. So Nabi Sallallahu is also a sign of Qiyamah. But anyway, comprehensive definition for you. Everything that will happen from the time of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam till the appearance of the Mahdi, till before the Mahdi, that is all alamat sughra, the minor signs. Once the Mahdi appears, he comes, and here we're going to do the details, and then till Qiyamah, all those, that's called alamat kubra. So remember that. From Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's time till the appearance of the Mahdi, that is alamat sughra, the minor signs. And once the Mahdi makes his appearance on the scene, then this will be alamat kubra. In fact, yes, mentioned, you know, that the world will terminate with the blowing in the sur. Inshallah, there you do of more of these details. There's also a nice hadith in Tirmidhi Shareef where Allah Ta'ala, when the sur will be blown, then Allah Ta'ala said, لِمَنِ الْمُلْكُ الْيَوْمِ لِلَّهِ الْوَاحِدِ الْقَهَّارِ. There was powerful people, kings, they claim, this is my land. Now where are they? Who does everything belong to? It belongs to me, right? So just remember that now nicely. From Qiyamah till before the appearance of the Mahdi is alamat sughra. Then from the Mahdi till the blowing the sur is alamat kubra, right? Are you with me? So all this, what we discussed, you know, earlier about the deviant sects that will come, the false prophets, the shahadat of Uthman, the waqi of Harra, and you know, fitnatul duhaima, that about the ransacking and the looting of Baghdad, and then even some ulama say that fitnatul sarra was where there was an abundance of wealth, or some ulama say they interpreted it to be the bribes that the Western countries at that time. Remember, before America, Britain was a superpower there for many years, for long hundreds of years. The bribes that the British paid, the Arab tribes and the deputy of Makkah to revolt against. So if you look at it, all of that will come under alamat sughra. All of that will come under the so how close are we? We can see now a lot of alamat sughra already took place. It already manifested itself. I was telling you all, even this misguided sex, etc. So now another major sign that will come now closer towards Qiyamah. A lot of this that obviously we'll say that this haven't hasn't appeared is out, that many of the Muslim countries will be captured by the Christians. Many. And then there's just after this, the Christians will capture many of the Muslim lands will come under the rule of the Christians. There's a person by the name of Abu Sufyan. His name will be Sufyan. He will be born and he will kill many of the Muslim leaders. Then the Muslims here just now, this is just before the appearance of the Mahdi. So this will still be from the Alamat Sughra because we said Alamat Kubra is the appearance of the Mahdi, right? Then the Muslims will be forced to make sulah, to make an agreement with some group of the Christians. And then they will fight. So the Muslims and the Christians, they will fight the other group of Christians, right? So the Muslims and the group of the Christians, they will gang up against the Christians. Are you with me? And the Muslims will gain victory. Now, interesting, I want to show you here now. Allah Ta'ala knows best. Allah Ta'ala knows best. But you know that Moulana Imran Hussain, I never heard of him. He's from Barbados, isn't it? So he speaks also a lot about eschatology. So he says what? He said, look here, some of the Muslim world today is siding with who? Against the Americans. Who is siding with? They're siding with the Russians. And the Russians are also Christians. But they got a bit of a different Christianity. They are more also, in fact, the Russians' Christianity is closer to the real Christianity than the Western world Christianity. They date of when Isa was born and all is more closer to. They are more closer to the real Christianity than what the Western Christianity is. And if you look at now, you get this. I think this world currently was dominated by one power, that was America. There was no one else. So you had what they call it, was the right word, a unipolar world. A unipolar world. Now you're moving to a multipolar world, means you have all the power and the might is not concentrated in one country or one people's hands, the might. So you got the rise of the BRICS on the other side. South Africa, Brazil, Egypt, all those places. And now even Iran is joining. So he says, yeah, what he says is that, yeah, the Muslims will gang up with the Russians because what the Hadith said, the Hadith will come. They are also Christians. The Russians are, I told you, they are Orthodox Christians. They are more closer to real Christianity than the current Western world Christians. So he says, this Hadith refer to this, where the Muslims will gang up with the Russians, and the Russians they will now attack the Christians, or they will have it out with the Christians, and the Muslims will eventually be victorious. Whether it's true or not, Allah Ta'ala knows best. I told you, all these incidents, you can only speculate, is this what the Hadith is speaking about? You can say, maybe an incident will happen today, and we'll see like, hey, this fits the Hadith like a glove. But now, 50 years, 100 years, another scholar will come and if something fits it even closer. You understand? So you can't say for sure whether it is that or not. But if it is, Allah Alam, if it is that, then the Muslim world will join forces with the half of the Christian world to dislodge the current oppressive Christian world, then it seems like we're quite close to Qiyamah. Even if it is, I don't know, Allah Ta'ala knows best if it is. But anyway, so yeah, the hadith say that the Muslims and the Christians, or the Muslims will gather with one group of Christians and they will vanquish the other Christian, the other group, right? And then after that, what will happen is the Christians will say, no, see, we through the, like how we said, through the barakah, through the blessings, through the benediction of the cross, we managed to vanquish these people. And the Muslims said, no, 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 this was through the Islam, through Iman, that we managed. And like this, the Muslims and the Christians will have a fallout, and the leader of the Muslims will become Shaheed. And then again, the Christians will gang up again against the Muslims. And here it's mentioned, in this process, the Muslims will lose land right up to Khaybar. Isn't they say that the Jews, they were initially expelled from Khaybar, remember? This comes in after the Battle of Khandaq, when they double-crossed the Muslims. They threw in their lot with the Ahzab because they thought the Muslims are going to be killed here. So they threw in their lot with the Ahzab, the Confederates. But they threw their lot in with the wrong people because the Muslims emerged victorious. So after that, Nabi Sallam expelled them from Khaybar. So they still believe in their mind that Khaybar is dead. They still believe. So they still after Khaybar. They still after Khaybar. So they say, they speak about the greater Israel. So here they say they will lose until Khaybar, the Muslims will lose. And Muslims will be at such a pitiable condition that they will have no hope. They will be like, like battered from pillar to post. And they will say now they've reached the lowest ebb. There's only one thing now, that is the Mahdi, right? Appearance of the Mahdi. And the Mahdi himself, he will be a very conservative person. He will want to hide away. So at this time here, when they start looking for the Mahdi, he will be in Medina. But he will flee from there and he will go to Makkah al-Mukarramah. He wants to hide away. In the interim, there will be many people that will make false claims of being the Mahdi. You heard about the siege of Makkah. You heard about it. It was in the 1960s. You ever heard about it? I got a book by the house in English. I borrowed to you the holidays. You can read it. There was a person that claimed he was a Mahdi, and they laid siege to the Haram in Makkah for a few days. Nobody could come in and out. Our Ustad Mufti Ibrahim Salaji from Swingo Beach, he was there at the same time. He was in the Haram. So they never allow people to. So the Saudi government, they actually got the French paratroopers, elite forces, to flush these guys out of the Haram because they were hiding. If you go to the Haram, you see there's a lot of basements and like where they were hiding there. So actually, our Mufti Sabi actually spoke to this person. He said, okay, you claim you're the Mahdi. Ask him a few questions. Simple questions. The description of the Mahdi comes in the Hadith. The description of the Mahdi. So, you can't be the Mahdi. Nabi Sallam said, give this, we'll do it inshallah as we go through the sabak. Nabi Sallam gave a few descriptions of the Mahdi. So see the Hadith again. Like I told you, sometimes you get him on simple things. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, he said Isa. He said, what was Isa's mother's name? Maryam. What is your mother's name? Your mother's name was Shareef, Bibi. So how can you be the Isa? So sometimes you don't have to go into technical discussions. You don't have to go into technical discussion. Simple things. The Hadith said that the Mahdi, this is how he will look. He will be from my family, from the Ahlul Bayt. You're not from the Ahlul Bayt. You're not from this. It isn't one clip of Zakir Naik. The one guy said, I'm the Mahdi. So the Bishop said, Zakir said, you're the Mahdi, yes. Okay, can you speak Arabic? He says, yes. He speaks Arabic. He said, oh, Allah Samad, Lam Yalid wa Lam Yulad. He said, I can speak Arabic. He started reciting. He was a Bangladeshi guy. Plus, he's reciting the Bangladeshi accent. So you just sometimes you don't have to go into fancy discussions. You just go back to the simple basics, and that will help you to differentiate between who is on haqq and who's on batil. So there will be many issues in the interim where the ulama would have decided that look here, there is now the time for the Mahdi. Right? Interesting thing, sometimes the ulama have kashf. Kashf means inspiration comes from Allah Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala puts something into the heart of a person. But sometimes the kashf is wrong also. Sometimes the kashf is wrong. When Moulana Abdul Hamid, the principal of Hazrat Madrasa, when he was in Darul Uloom, then Shaykh al-Hadith, Shaykh al-Hadith means the main Hadith Ustad. He said, I got kashf that the Mahdi was born now. But sometimes it can be wrong. You can't, there's only Quran and Sunnah is conclusive. Everything else, you just have to, if it manifests itself, it manifests itself. If it doesn't manifest itself, it doesn't manifest itself. You take it with a pinch of salt. You understand what I'm saying? But there are a lot of ulama that say the time is right for the Mahdi because the Ummah has reached its lowest ebb. And that's you can see here from the Hadith, you can see it is quite clear that the Mahdi will make his appearance where the Ummah reaches its lowest ebb, when there's no more anymore. There is no hope for them anymore. Then, like even when The last time they had a Wifaq meeting in PE, many of the senior ulama, Moulana Abdul Hamid and Mufti Ibrahim Salaji, our Ustad, you met him, you came to the farm, you met him there, and they went to meet AS from the Majlis. So he said he's looking at the helpless situation in Gaza. He said now there's no, only hope now is the Mahdi, that the Muslims are pathetic, they are hopeless, they are helpless, they're useless. The only thing that can turn around the situation is the arrival of the Mahdi. So why I'm saying that, I'm linking up to show you that from this hadith also, what we do, the details, that shows you that the Mahdi will make his appearance when the Muslims will have no more hope anymore. And for something to rise up, it must reach the lowest first. Because if it can't go further, if something can't go further down, well, it's only way and way, it just need to go up now. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so the ulama will probably be divinely inspired or whatever, that the Mahdi is around. That's why they will go in search of the Mahdi. They will go in search, right? Maybe they'll get catched that the Mahdi is around, whatever. Allah Ta'ala. And it's mentioned here that in Makkah al-Mukarramah, by the Maqam Ibrahim, between the Maqam Ibrahim and the Hajr Aswad, they will meet the Mahdi, they will recognize him by his facial features, etc., etc., and they will give him bai't. Now, from small, we learned this here. It is a lot of the Maktab Kitabs in it, and even in the Bashis here, where it's mentioned there that a voice will call out from the heavens, هَذَا خَلِيفَةُ اللَّهِ الْمَهْدِي فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ وَأَطِيعُوهُ. But unfortunately, this is not authentic. Did you ever hear this before? You never heard. But I know from small we were taught that, but this hadith is not that there's no voice. The ulama will recognize him by signs, by the description that is given in the hadith, etc., etc. There's no voice will be called out from the heavens. So I was telling you, his outer form, his physical features, he will be from like Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We will do, inshallah, it comes also in Mishkaat Shareef. And if you stick around when we do Shama'il al-Tirmidhi, maybe next year we can do Shama'il al-Tirmidhi when you finish all the other, the beautiful kitab, all the physical, the forehead of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the nose, the cheek, the beard, really beautiful. So there it says that he will physically resemble Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, I don't know, we never do yet, but there's a whole chapter in Mashkaat here about the Abdal. Have you ever heard about the Abdal? Never heard about it. There's a hadith that speaks about them, that these are 40 selected servants of Allah Ta'ala that lives in this dunya. I done it with the girls about last year or the previous year, that they are chosen by Allah Ta'ala. They live mostly in Syria, in Sham, in those places. So they will come out and they will, the awliya, the Abdal will do this. We'll come in detail in Mishkat. We'll also end. In fact, when we come to the India, we'll do it maybe, right? They will be the first supporters of the Mahdi, and they will join the Mahdi. And once he is supported by them, they will remove the treasures that is buried by the Kaaba, around the Kaaba. And like this, they will equip the army. Like this, they will equip the army. So we stop the time is up. We'll use the same link, inshallah, for the tafsir.